Hello, all. Welcome to my very first live stream. My goal with these is I'm going to be going live every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Central. And by the way, I'm Tara from Courageously Living. And if you are a regular subscriber, thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate all of the likes and the subscriptions and the comments that you leave. I am trying to grow my channel. So if you decide you like what's going on in the live stream or anything, please make sure you subscribe. Again, we're going to be doing these every week. And we're going to do a topic, kind of a Q&A of whatever you guys would like to cover in like either spiritual growth, personality, or spirituality, kind of best of humanity stuff. So it's gonna be kind of an eclectic mix, but really exposing you to different thoughts, different ideas, different techniques, different things to help you live a more authentic life. With that, the first topic I chose was what is going on with all this intense energy and how we can kind of navigate it. So there is a lot going on worldwide. Pretty much any country right now is in some sort of upheaval, disarray, change. Even islands with just penguins on them is in flux. So I wanted to just kind of give you some ideas, and I wrote some questions down that seem to be kind of coming up in different communities that I've been kind of following online and kind of giving you my take on them and kind of help get through and this time because it's a lot. Let's start there. I think when we're really doing these intense, crazy, chaotic changes, you can really be feeling like, is this just me? Is everybody else like sailing through this time and I'm just upset and I'm just can't figure out my feeding? No. Everybody in the entire world is going through some sort of change, and everybody's going to feel it differently. Some people are going to go to the rage and the anger and the victimhood. And some people are going to go the opposite way and say, where is our learning opportunities? Where is our divine love, divine laughter to help us through these times? And there's going to be a whole chunk of people in the middle that are like, oh, what's going on? I don't know this. And it's a spectrum, and it's going to continue to be a spectrum. Some days you might, feel that you've got this. You're totally rocking this. Some days you might kind of fall back into that little bit of anger and frustration of, everything's going crazy in the world. And some days you're like, you know what? I'm just tuning it out. I'm not even going to look at it. All of those are valid. All of those are valid. That's one of the things I really, really want to stress to you in these lives, in all my other videos, in my shorts, however you consume any content from me, if you take my classes, if you're in my membership, is this is a process. And this is a process that humanity has never even gone through. We are all going through this collectively and individually. So make sure you feel your feelings. Allow yourself to feel your feelings. That's going to be the biggest thing that you can do is feel your feelings, process them. Even if it's just writing it down in a journal, even if it is just singing a song for the mood you're in, that's processing your feelings too. You want to go to therapy, go to therapy. You want to, do like a membership, like something like I offer, or, any other spiritual membership, go for it. Find at least one thing that is going to be kind of your go-to to help you get through these times. Hint, you're going to probably need more than one. Because different days you're going to need a different tool out of your toolkit. And the more that I can provide you that base of that toolkit, so you can be like, oh, today I want to grab this. Tomorrow I'm going to grab that. That's going to help. But you might find one thing that you really gravitate toward. Do that. Because we're kind of talking about what things you can do, let's just kind of keep going with that topic a little bit. I had my notes on how I was going to do it, but again, live, let's just keep going with that. So here are all different kind of things you can do to help navigate this time for you. And again, what's working for you today may not work for you tomorrow, and what's working for you definitely may not work for somebody else, or worked for somebody else and not for you. So know that this is an incredibly individual process that we are going through collectively. I think everyone could benefit from being gentle and being kind to yourself through this process. We're going to have ups, we're going to have downs, we're going to have zigzags, we're going to have loop-de-loos. And through it all, the more that you can be gentle with yourself is going to help so much. The kindness that you can extend to yourself and say, you know what, I'm feeling really down today. And I've acknowledged it and I'm okay with that. Be kind to yourself. On kind of every day. That would be my everyday recommendation for everyone, and including me. Like, there's times that I have to remember, like, hey, be gentle. It's okay. It's okay to feel your feelings. Self-hugs, if you've watched any of my videos, I always end with a self-hug. That's a really quick way to kind of bring you back to your center. And it's being kind and gentle to yourself. If you can meditate, meditating is a great thing to do. Sometimes with this chaotic energy, it's going to be really hard to meditate. Even if you've been a meditator for years, that's okay. Again, extend yourself some kindness in that. Take time away from the news. Please, please, please take time away from the news. I know that, it's still important to see what's going on in your community, in your country, in the world. There is not a shortage of things going on, but please limit that consumption. Try also to read it versus see it, or if you do watch it like on YouTube, maybe you just have it on silent and you're reading the closed captions. Maybe you're just looking at the headline and then looking at the comments of what other people did. Again, limiting that is going to help you. There is so much information coming at us. There's so much disinformation coming at us. Please be aware of how much news, how much social media you are consuming, and try as best you can to limit that consumption, limit that feed that's constantly coming in. And I will say, I some days I have trouble with that too. I'm constantly like, okay, now what happened? Okay, now what happened? The more you can limit that, it is going to help. Get out and walk in nature if you can. Just sit in nature. And if you're in like a city or town, people watch. Instead of looking at your phone, that's a great way to kind of break that little bit of habit of always constantly being on your phone. If there's so much energy that's like trying to move and come out, this might be a great time to learn some boxing or karate or, anything physical that you can really move your body. Can also help you process your feelings and all this energy that's coming at you. Maybe it's such a thing as just taking a longer shower. That can also be really helpful for you. One of the easiest things that I can recommend is put lotion on and watch it absorb into your body. Our bodies are magical and miraculous, and all the things that they do for us that we don't even take time to acknowledge. And by putting that lotion on, watching it absorb into your skin, you're really starting to focus on something minutia that helps deal with the macro of everything coming at you, and really realizing what a magical being you are. Like, you don't have to tell yourself to breathe. We can say, take 3 deep breaths. That's another great thing to calm yourself down. But can you imagine if you had to say, breathe in now, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Oh, hey, pump blood to my heart. Oh, make sure your lungs are filling with air. Oh, and get blood to your brain. Oh my gosh, we couldn't survive. We would die. We can't consciously do everything that our body does on an unconscious, just automatic level if we had to be conscious of it. And then try to actually like drive a car or go to work. Like, so we really are magical beings, miracle beings. Appreciate that. And the final thing that I want to say that we can do, and I have really started to do this every night, is I will run through with each chakra, and I'm not going to go into the whole thing of what chakras are. I've got some other videos up on my site. There's a ton of information on YouTube about them. So what I do at night is I just envision a red ball filling my chakra, an orange ball filling my chakra, a yellow ball filling my chakra, a green ball filling my chakra, a blue ball filling my chakra, a indigo purple ball filling my chakra, and then finally a white ball filling my chakra. And once I've done that, I envision myself from my heart center, my heart, this beautiful, beautiful gold, healing, protective light that's expanding further and further and further until I am completely encompassed in this golden ball of healing, love, and light. And it's a beautiful way to kind of slow yourself down in the evening as you're getting ready for bed. Now, I went through that pretty fast, but you can certainly do that as slow as you would like. Now, I also will eventually be doing a video on that to kind of help you kind of walk through a little bit of those. I have one for the chakras, but it's not for bedtime. But I don't know when I'm going to get that done. So there's your quick way to do it. But I will be getting a video actually up for you. Now that we've talked about different things that you can do during this time, and that is just truly, truly just a fraction of what you can do. But let's talk a little bit, let's take a step back and say, what's causing this? It's really easy to look at world leaders and be like, hey, they are the cause of this, which they are playing their part. They are playing their role 100%. 100% they are playing their role. But if we look at it spiritually, if we look at it astrologically, this time in history has been predicted for a long time. Nobody knew exactly what was happening or going to happen, and we still don't. But it was predicted that this was going to be a really, really intense year of change globally and for the planet, for Gaia herself. And it is actually 25, 26, and 27. Now, that doesn't mean in 27 we're going to be dealing with the same things we're dealing with in 26 and 25. Actually, it's not going to be anything like that. We're going to be constantly going into new things we're dealing with, changing, morphing. Things that worked this year aren't going to work in 2 years. Things that worked this year aren't going to work next year. We're going to be changing, creating new in our personal lives, in collectively. And so to me, that really helps as we navigate through this time going, okay, this was predicted to be this upheaval. We may not have known what we were going into, but it was predicted to be an upheaval. And that actually calms me down quite a bit, because I'm like, okay, this didn't just fall out of the sky and now we're dealing with it. It's cumulative coming up of things. So now, outside the predictions, which you can Google a ton of information, there's a ton of psychics that are currently doing predictions for this time. They've done predictions for this time 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And then there's the astrology piece. Now, people kind of poo-poo astrology, but you can trace things back in history that have shown up in different configurations of where the planets are. What is different, though, is all of this configuration that we are going through right now in astrology. That astrologers they can go all the way back into history as far as we know, and cannot, I repeat, cannot find something in history to say this is all of this stuff happening all at once. This is something brand new to all of us. So they can go back and say, hey, Pluto was, moved into Aquarius during, the American Revolution, I believe. It can go back and say, oh, this is, with the French Revolution. It actually might be, and it was Civil War. Sorry. It was Civil War, not a revolution. But the French Revolution. So they can go back and say, hey, that's just that one piece. But then we also add, so that's Pluto moving into Aquarius, which it did in November of last year. This year, we start having planets that usually, take 20 years, 15 years, moving signs. And that is, because of that, that's kind of rare in themselves. But to have them all move signs is huge. Okay, so we have Pluto, and I'm not an astrologer, so please go look at other astrologers. This is just I can't even say it's the tip of the iceberg. It's like a drop of the tip of the iceberg of all that is going on in astrology this year and next year and started last year, and it's mind-blowing. But the big ones that we're coming into in these next 2-3 months. Neptune is moving into Aries. So Neptune is all about spirituality, kind of the veil, different things, looking at things in a different way. And it's moving into a fire sign from a water sign. So it wants to go and it wants to move forward. And it doesn't really care who it's going to push through to move forward. So that just happened in March, the March 15th. And then Saturn, who is all about structure, old ways of doing things, boundaries, you know, the way corporate has been run, the way different governments have been run. That also is in water sign, you know, kind of looking at, you know, what's working, what's not, where can I kind of change things, where can I get into that structure. Well, that moves into Aries on 5/25. Again, we're going to push through. We're going to go crazy through those boundaries, through those structures that say, hey, those didn't work anymore. Those were great for the last 20, 100, 200, 1,000 years. Now they're not so great anymore. And we're just ramming through. And Jupiter, who loves to make things bigger, doesn't really matter. Good, bad, indifferent. Just, can I make it bigger? One of my favorite astrologers says, can I glitter? And that's Bonnie Gillespie. And it is. Jupiter just kind of wants to add glitter to whatever it's doing. And that moves in to the water sign. So it's going to make more emotions come to the surface. More, you know, secrets possibly being revealed. And that is on June 9th. And then to just kind of complete this tip of the iceberg, we've got Uranus, a planet of change and disruption, and saying, hey, I'm here to stir things up, man. Like, let's get into this pot and let's stir it. And I don't care how much slops over. That moves from kind of steady earth-based Taurus into Gemini on July 7th. So 7/7. And Gemini is all about communication, how else do I want to say, like duality. And it can be really chatty and say, you know what, I can just chat to myself. I can chat with one person. I can chat with a group of people. It doesn't really care. It just wants communication. So we might see some cool inventions. We also might see news that is breaking as things keep coming up and bubbling up to the surface. It's going to be, unfortunately, this intensity that we're feeling now isn't going to go away anytime soon, which is why it's so, so important to actually be in doing your own things that you can kind of self-regulate. Please, please do things that make yourself feel good. Where's that kindness coming in for yourself? Where is that gentleness coming in for yourself? Because those planets, all minus Pluto, those planets are all kind of moving signs this year. And then they're going to move back into the signs they were at the end of this year to just kind of finish up at last pieces, last kind of big hurrahs. And then they're going to move into their sign, except Jupiter, I believe. is the only one that's going to stay in Cancer now. But then everybody else is going to move back in 2026 to the final time of their new sign. So it is going to be upheaval and change. And so, pop sighting. And that's really important for you to know that we are going to be on this roller coaster for a bit. And I don't know about you, but I really, really do not like roller coasters. So I am really trying to regulate my own system, my own nervous system as best I can. And that's one of the things I really want to help and stress with you on these weeklies is different ways to help your own system, your own nervousness. There is a much better pup sighting. Yes, a pup sighting. And sometimes they're going to be more fun topics, and some are going to be more technique based. So a variety of things to kind of help you through this time, because it's going to be for a while. It really is. And Annie's like, yeah, I'm done with this. Let me see if I covered all of the items I wanted to for this live. The other question, which we've kind of already touched on, is when is it going to end? And it's not going to end soon. We've still got different energies coming in 26 and 27. That said, there is going to be constant endings and new beginnings through this period. And I can't even begin to tell you what all of those are going to be. But from where we are today, or whatever day you are watching this, it will be different in 3 months. It will be different in 6 months. In a year, we'll be so far from where we are today. In 2027, we'll be even further. And we're like, wait, how did we live through 25? So that is your hope. Also know, again, that this was predicted. Astrology supports it. There is a bunch of other things that I didn't even talk about that kind of suggest or supported this time of change that we are going through. And we're going to get through it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be rocky. There's going to be days you're going to be like, what the heck? I don't know which way's up. I don't know which way's down even. And that's okay. Please, please know that whatever you are feeling is okay. And I'm going to end this live stream. Make sure you give yourself a self-hug. Self-hug. And I will catch you either on the next video. Again, make sure if you liked this video, you do subscribe. And then you'll get the notifications of when I am going live. But I am going live Wednesdays, 7 p.m., always with different topics. So please join if you can. And if you can't, I will always post on Mondays to ask for questions that I will cover in the live stream if you can't make it live. All right, that is what I have for you on this live stream. Bye for now.